Who wants lemonade? Lemonade is here. And it is rocking. Okay, that sounds like a little cliche, but I finally had time to listen to Lemonade, Louis Tomlinson's new single. And as you all know, Louis Tomlinson is back, and the internet and fandom, social media, it's been buzzing ever since he dropped that he was going to be releasing a new single. And it really went buzzing like a bee when the fandom was right that Lemonade was going to be a title. I think that initially it was the title of the next album, but it's the title of the song. So, from surprise pop ups in Times Square to fan theories running wild on Reddit, and now the announcement of his highly anticipated sit down on Diary of a CEO. Oh my God, I'm so excited. I have been saying this. Louis Tomlinson, I said this in my old channel, Andrew Carnegie of music, entertainment, and the whole corporation that he's spun around himself. I kind of debate between whether is he like Andrew Carnegie? Is he more like the guy who developed Ferrari? Because the guy who developed Ferrari was um, no, the guy who developed Lamborghini was rejected by Ferrari. So Lamborghini became Lamborghini as a response to being rejected and told that they weren't good enough, basically, by Ferrari. So there you go. That is Louis Tomlinson to me, because he would not let anyone else define him. He was going to make it on his own, and he has true grit. So he absolutely bloody deserves to sit down on Diary of a CEO, and I'm going to analyze that one to death. And this all marks the start of a new chapter in Louis' career. So let's do another deep dive on what the fandom is saying, what the critical reception so far has been about the new track, and maybe a bit of lyrical breakdowns. And what do we know so far of what fans can expect next? So, the release date for the next album. So, the single launch was today. I'm recording this September 30th, and it is Lemonade. So that's the song. And then it's the lead single for the upcoming album that is going to be called How Did I Get Here? And it is going to be released January 23rd, 2026. But the pre orders are available. And the description of the song's sound is it's upbeat, polished. It's got a radio ready pop with a massive hook. To me, it sounds a little different than the last couple Louis albums, but I look at Louis albums like Faith in the Future and Walls as different eras of the Louis arc. And a couple rollout events are planned: lyric video premiere, Times Square Lemonade, stand activation with free drinks, yay. And it so far, and I haven't been watching the charts because I've been busy working. I sometimes have to go hours not watching the news. Charting early impact on social media and metrics, there's been a high shareability so far because of the short, meme ready lyrical phrases. So the general fan response is, from what it looks like, and I'm not looking at metrics. I don't have the breakdown of the technical data, but so far it looks like it's overwhelmingly positive for Lemonade being this catchy, bouncy, and fun track. It's the kind of track that you can't get out of your head, and that is so true. Even like the sample preview audio that was released before the debut date was pretty catchy. And the lyric breakdown is, "She's so bitter, she's so sweet, just like lemonade," which is interpreted as a bit of a push-pull of attraction and conflict. It's like sweet and sour, right? Like sweet and sour sauce. It's not sweet enough, not sour enough, but it is a it's actually, that's what makes it charming. It's sweet and sour. Um, okay, so some fan theory. So Larry Stylins and fandom spaces have seized on visual clues because that's what they're good at. They're like a whole community of spies, intelligence agents for the Louis fandom, and lyrical decipherers who are kind of, they don't miss details. They look and see, is this a cipher? Is this not? Like, it's really cool. I really do believe that becoming a Larry fan probably activated or made people aware of what was maybe at that time dormant or latent or unknown gifts in being good investigators with a flair for creativity. So, of course, the visual clues with the posters, color palettes, teaser copy, and interpreting whether maybe these are potential coded references. People have been mapping thematic links between bitterness, sweetness, and Louis' past storytelling motifs. and the virality of the mechanics. So TikTok edits, lyric captions, and meme cycles have made Lemonade one of the most socially dominant releases in Louis' solo career so far. And it is to the thanks of the fans, not so much his management company, because honestly, I think the Louis Army is pretty formidable. And I think that any attempts to kind of make people upset with Louis by the stunting and having him with Zara, who kind of is controversial, all that is why I don't trust his management company, because they know that Louis' superpower is his fans and the loyalty of his fans. And anything that would somehow diminish or water down that loyalty, it's like I said, it's an Achilles heel. So I think that if his management company really had his back, they would really not play with the fans, because I don't think it's Louis. I think the management company, they're what are they doing? I mean, that's a whole other video. So, Rolling Stone magazine, because Louis on the cover of Rolling Stone, yay, describes Lemonade as a big, fun, and sonically ambitious track, a statement of intent for his new era. And it's invigorating and it's pretty energetic if you think about it. Billboard calls it a soaring pop balloon with a sticky chorus, highlighting how it positions Louis in the mainstream pop lane. Finally. Variety frames it as the lead scene setter for the January album launch. Other outlets like Dork, the AU Review, emphasize fresh production choices, including recording in Costa Rica with Nico Rebsher, signaling Louis' willingness to explore new sonic sound, because he's an ever evolving soul. That's why. The consensus so far, this is just what I'm picking up because I'm by no means a music critic, that it's a polished, chart ready, and strategically built for wide appeal. Finally, a contrast to the indie leading textures of his earlier solo work. It's time for the world to discover what we as Louis have known as the best kept secret and probably the most successful One Direction member. If you really look at and scrutinize what he's accomplished since the band went on hiatus, Louis is the most successful one. Harry had the $20 million budget. Harry's the most well known. Harry's very mainstream, of course. But if you really look at what Louis has gained, like he plays the long game, baby. And he plays it well. So I am willing to bet that if he took the Stanford Binet test, which is an assessment for IQ, he'd score genius. I will stay on that hill. Okay, so the name of the album, How Did I Get Here? Scheduled for a January 23rd release. The early PR framing is that this is Louis' chance to expand his sound, consolidate his fan base, and stake a larger claim in the broader pop market. An album teaser suggests a more optimistic, expansive energy than his darker previous records. Well, it's been a long, cold, lonely winter, and here comes the sun, and it's Louis Tomlinson. Okay, and then October 9th is the upcoming interview with Diary of a CEO. The episode will have a first ever theatrical screening through Regal Cinemas, a sign of just how big Louis' fan demand is. Yes, the fans demand it because we've known all along this is a diamond in plain sight, and it's time for him to be on display. And expect the interview to cover his journey from Doncaster to the X Factor, the highs and lows of One Direction, the personal tragedies that unfortunately happened but have shaped his resilience, how he's navigated fame, solo artistry, and the pressures of legacy, and the PR buzz. So far, it looks like the fans can expect a raw, candid, legacy-minded conversation. Podcast is known for vulnerable business meets personal storytelling, making it likely Louis will talk about identity, growth, and his vision for the next era. So this interview is poised to bridge his diehard fans with a broader public audience. I am so unbelievably excited. Oh, Louis, I'm so happy.